Blues fans, glad you made it. Welcome to the next episode of This Week in the Blues. I'm your host, Jimbo Big Train Madsen, with Big Train and the Locomotives, a blues band in Oklahoma. Anyway, let's take a look and see what happened this week in blues history. New Orleans guitar legend Snooks Eaglin was born January 21st, 1937. His ability to play a wide range of songs and make them his own earned him the nickname the Human Jukebox. Eaglin claimed in interviews that his musical repertoire included some 2,500 songs. At live shows, he usually did not prepare a set list and was unpredictable, even to his bandmates. He played songs that came to him on stage, and he also took requests from the audience. Blues songstress Zora Young was born January 21st, 1948, in West Point, Mississippi. She is distantly related to Howlin' Wolf. Young's family moved to Chicago when she was 7. She began singing gospel music, and as an adult, she began singing blues and R&B. Over the course of her career, she has performed with Junior Wells, Jimmy Dawkins, Bobby Rush, Buddy Guy, Albert King, and B.B. King. The King of Soul, Sam Cooke, was born January 22, 1931, in Clarksdale, Mississippi. Cooke relocated to Chicago with his family at a young age, where he began singing as a child and joined the Soul Stirrers as lead singer in the 1950s. Going solo in 1957, Cooke released a string of hit songs, including You Send Me, A Change Is Gonna Come, Cupid, Wonderful World, Chain Gang, Twistin' the Night Away, Bring It On Home to Me, and Good Times. During his 8-year career, Cooke released 29 singles that charted in the top 40 of the Billboard Pop Singles chart. Blues singer and songwriter Teenie Tucker was born January 22nd, 1958 in Dayton, Ohio. She has variously appeared on the same bill with B.B. King, Coco Taylor, Etta James, Buddy Guy, Robert Cray, and Keb' Mo'. She is the daughter of the late blues musician Tommy Tucker. In addition to painting and creating visual art, she continues to record and tour, appearing at a variety of venues and festivals. If you see her name, please go catch her live. Harmonica player Hammy Nixon was born January 22, 1908 in Brownsville, Tennessee, and began his music career with jug bands in the 1920s. He is best known as a country blues harmonica player, but he also played the kazoo, guitar, and jug. Nixon played with the guitarist Sleepy John Estes for half a century, first recording with Estes in 1929 for Victor Records. He also recorded with Little Buddy Doyle, Lee Green, Clayton Driver, Charlie Pickett, and Son Bonds. Huddy William Ledbetter, better known as Leadbelly, was born January 23, 1888, on the Jeter Plantation near Shiloh, Louisiana. Between 1915 and 1939, Ledbetter served several prison and jail terms for a variety of criminal charges. Folklorist John Lomax discovered and recorded Leadbelly in prison. Lomax petitioned the governor for Leadbelly's early release, a note written on the back of Leadbelly's recording of Goodnight Irene, spawning the legend that Leadbelly had sung his way out of prison, something the state of Louisiana has repeatedly denied. Leadbelly was sometimes referred to as the Singing Convict. Muddy Waters recorded his classic song Long Distance Call on January 23rd in 1951. Joining him was Little Walter on harmonica and Ernest Big Crawford on bass. This same session also produced Too Young to Know, Honeybee, and Howlin' Wolf. It was first released as a single in 1951 by Chess Records and reached number 8 on the U.S. R&B chart. Muddy Waters' version originates in the song Long Distance Moan, recorded in September 1929 by Blind Willie Johnson. Grammy-nominated musician and vocalist Beth Hart was born January 24th in 1972. Hart is known for her visceral, gritty, soaring, and dynamic contralto vocals. Hart also plays piano, guitar, cello, bass guitar, and percussion. She rose to fame with the release of her 1999 single, L.A. Song, from her second album, Screamin' for My Supper. Beginning in 2011, Hart has had several well-received collaborations with guitarist Joe Bonamassa, with several topping the Billboard Blues album chart. Blues harmonica player and singer Moses Whispering Smith was born January 25, 1932, in the town of Union Church, Mississippi. In the 1960s, Smith played harmonica on recordings by the Swamp Blues notable Lightning Slim and Silas Hogan before he was able to record some tracks of his own. Although he was a powerful singer with a harmonica style that was more straightforward than some of his peers, he hit the mainstream just when Swamp Blues was declining in popularity. He was later inducted into the Louisiana Blues Hall of Fame. James Etta Hawkins, who you know better as Etta James, was born January 25, 1938. Starting her career in 1954, she gained fame with hits such as The Wallflower, At Last, Tell Mama, Something's Got a Hold on Me, and I'd Rather Go Blind. James' deep and earthy voice bridged the gap between rhythm and blues and rock and roll. She won 6 Grammy Awards and 17 Blues Music Awards. Blues singer, guitarist, and evangelist Blind Willie Johnson was born January 25, 1897 in Pendleton, Texas. Like his contemporary Blind Lemon Jefferson, Johnson channeled the expressiveness of the blues into his religious message. An important aspect of Johnson's recordings was his bottleneck guitar technique, which was immediately influential on Robert Johnson and Howlin' Wolf. He punctuated his music with tonal control and sense of timing, often using the guitar as part of his harmonic phrasing, particularly on his classic Dark Was the Night, Cold Was the Ground. Blues guitarist Sleepy John Estes was born January 25, 1899 in Ripley, Tennessee. His music influenced such artists as the Beatles, Bob Dylan, and Led Zeppelin. At the age of 19, while working as a field hand, he began to perform professionally, mostly at parties and picnics, with the accompaniment of harmonica player Hammy Nixon and guitarist and mandolin player James Yank Rachel. By the time blues historians tracked him down in 1962, he was completely blind and living in poverty. Estes, Nixon, and Rachel appeared at the Newport Folk Festival in 1964. Blues harp and guitar player Terry Harmonica Bean was born January 26, 1961 in Pontotoc, Mississippi. He has released several albums since 2001 and appeared in 3 film documentaries charting present-day blues experiences. Bean has dedicated himself to promoting older blues stylings, such as Delta Blues and Hill Country Blues. He is a versatile and engaging performer and appears regularly at blues festivals across the region. Blues guitarist Elmore James was born January 27, 1918. Known as the King of the Slide Guitar, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992 and a song Dust My Broom into the Grammy Hall of Fame in 1998. No two ways about it, Elmore James was the most influential slide guitarist of the post-war era. Although his early demise from heart failure kept him from enjoying the fruits of the 1960s blues revival, James left a wide, influential trail behind him. His signature lick is part of the essential fabric of blues guitar. Check the show notes for a link to it. Blues vocal legend Bobby Blue Bland was born January 27, 1930, in the small town of Barrettsville, Tennessee. Bland was first discovered by Ike Turner, who helped him start his performing and recording career. This continued through the 1950s with a short interruption for a stint in the U.S. Army. 1957 saw Bland's first charting single with Farther On Up the Road, with many to follow over the following decades. Bland was inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame in 1981, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1992, and the Memphis Music Hall of Fame in 2012. He received the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 1997. Well, blues fans, we just covered some of the highlights here, but if you want to know more about these artists or the other things that happened this week in the blues, be sure to follow our social media pages or visit our website at bigtrainblues.com. We'll have a new episode next week, so we'll see you then.